All right, so happy Monday. Um, so the weekend was a little rough.
It was just making the assignments work together.
Yeah, I know the group assignments definitely a bit of a challenge. It's the most challenging thing I think for the entire month. Especially trying to get everyone together and getting people to respond to emails, to messages. It's definitely challenging, but overall, I think you guys did an awesome job. Your team really came together,
I
and
hope so.
I'm just waiting on Team C to finish out tonight, and then I'll be typing up all that feedback and getting that back to you as soon as possible. I hear little laughs in the background. That's so cute. Okay, so today's purpose is, well, first of all, congratulations for being halfway done with DGL. Woohoo! That's an awesome feat. I know that, especially getting over the first week, it was enough, but getting halfway done and past all of getting used to the new platform and getting used to the way things are run, and making relationships and connecting with your classmates. So, congratulations. This week is all about what it is to be a digital citizen and the difference between, being a citizen of the United States opposed to being a citizen online. A lot of people um, think there is a distinction and thinks there is a different set of rules when it comes to online. And it really is not the case. It's very similar. It's all a part of being digital literate and knowing your rights and responsibilities, how to conduct yourself, um, having a positive online presence, which sometimes you put a computer in front of somebody's face and everything goes out the window, and there is this almost false confidence that people get, and the way that they choose to interact with people or talk to people isn't exactly the same thing they would do if they were face to face. Do you agree? Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're very, very low, so I apologize. Okay, so the first thing is, what do you think digital citizenship means?
Everything that you do on the digital world,
Okay, like what? What do you think it entails?
um, texting, sending pictures, posting on the internet, the web pages that you visit, anything that you do that's on the web, basically,
Absolutely.
like your digital footprint.
Oh, I love that. Digital footprint. Absolutely. And, knowing that we have these rights, as whether you're a United States citizen or from the Dominican Republic or from Italy, every country has their own set of rights and responsibilities. And yes, we have many freedoms, especially here. We have freedom of speech and um, freedom of religion. All these things that have been written in our U.S. Constitution as our rights. But having rights comes with responsibility. And the way things are viewed sometimes is, well, it's my right to do this, it's my right to do that, not really not really understanding there are consequences to your actions. Yes, you could speak your mind, but you're not exactly going to yell bomb anymore in the middle of a crowded movie theater or in the mall. And things happen through history. Thanks to 9/11, that's something very sensitive, and you can't just, although we have freedom of speech, there's limitations, and there's a time and a place, and that applies to online as well. There's a time, there's a place, there's an etiquette, how you go about things. And that's really what this week is about, where week one was kind of finding out where you lie in this digital world and coming up with your identity. How do you see yourself in this digital realm? Week two was gathering the skills necessary to decipher between reliable and unreliable sources and conduct proper research. And week three is building upon weeks one and week two, and this is really the Bible, or the guidelines of what you need in order to be that upstanding digital citizen. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there's 9 elements. There's 9 solid elements, and once I go into the assignments this week, you're gonna find out that you're utilizing the elements, the 9 elements of digital citizenship, in many of the assignments that are this week. You're going to look at not only how you conduct yourself as a digital citizen, but your view of others. How do other people react to certain situations? How does it impact or affect the people that are surrounding you? What depending on what event it was. And in this week, it's going to be some historical events. So you're going to look at the aspects of digital citizenship and how it affects a historical event. So we have the first one. We have digital access, and really it's kind of self-explanatory if you really look at it. And I know that many of these slides are going to have a lot of text. You don't have to worry about that. That's basically there for the people that haven't come to a live session to look over. But really what it means is that, as citizens of the United States, as digital citizens, we have the right to have access to the web. We have the right to purchase internet service in our home. We can go to Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi, McDonald's, Panera, you name it all. Even in some places, you could be in your car and get internet service. So basically, access is being able to access the web. We have the right as citizens to be able to utilize Wi-Fi. There is no law, there is no restriction, unless it's a governmental site or you need certain credentials. But when it comes to the public forum and the World Wide Web, we have access to that. Okay, the other one is, the next one is digital commerce. Do you buy and sell goods on the internet?
Yes. Who doesn't?
I know, right? It's the way it is right now. It's not a lot of people go to the store, and especially during Christmas, all the statistics show that the online online commerce is at an all-time high and the malls are suffering because of that fact. But it's so easy. You have your Amazons, you have your eBay. I myself love iTunes. It's my favorite.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I mean, for music, for episodes, just everything. It's amazing. And the internet has done that for us. It's allowed us access to this whole new world, and we could buy and sell goods overseas, over countries. It's incredible. It's incredible. So that's basically what commerce is. We have the right to place an ad on Craigslist or place an ad on eBay. At the same time, we have the right to buy books from Amazon or download MP3s from iTunes. You name it. Of course, it comes with a price. Being a good digital citizen is not pirating or using torrents or illegally downloading goods or service. So although we have the right to do these things, there's also responsibility that goes with it. Are you able to see my screen now, lady? I just read that.
No.
You can't. I'm wondering. So, is it just blank or everything's blurry?
It's just cut off on one side.
Is that better?
No.
I'm wondering why it's doing that.
Like, I can see, like, half of words on one side. Maybe that's just how you have your screen.
Well, that's weird. Let me move it.
Like clothing. I know that it's supposed to say clothing, but it's not.
Okay, I see what happened.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that wasn't all the way open. I apologize. And that's because the two bar that's on the side where you can see where everyone comes and you could use the chat box. That was covering my slide. So sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know, because when people watch it back, they're like, we can't read everything. Okay. The next one is digital communication. And really what this is all about is being aware of how communication has changed drastically. We're talking, people used to communicate through smoke signals and Morse code, and how far that has come to using the telephone. Now we can talk over the internet waves, and we can FaceTime, and we have personal computers right in our pockets. I don't know about you, but I remember days where, even if it was a touch tone phone, it was still like a rotary dial, and you would press the button and it would make the sound as if you rotary dialed all the numbers. And I remember a time where we only had one phone and you had to get this long cord if you wanted any privacy. So you would have to take the phone from the kitchen and make sure the cord was long enough to go into your room and talk to your friends. So one, because we were poor, and then the other is just, I grew up in a time where cell phones were just for people that had Jaguars and were pretty much had mansions and were rich.
You can't be that old.
Oh, I'm up there, girl. I'm definitely up there. So,
Wow.
yeah, I remember. I don't know if nostalgic wise, I'm sure you've heard of Saved by the Bell. Have you not?
I used to watch Saved by the Bell.
Okay, good, good. So I'm not that ancient. um, Zach Morris had.
But then again, I have a very old soul.
Aw, that's nice. My grandmother used to tell me that I had an old soul and I was more mature than my years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing. It's you understand, you know. I felt like I could relate to my grandmother and I could relate to people my own age at the same time, and I had like an admiration for her, if that makes sense. Um, but what I was getting at is Zach Morris had like one of the first cell phones, and it was like ridiculously huge, and you couldn't like I couldn't even imagine putting that in my pocket. But that's what they used to be. And I'm sure in this debate, you guys notice how communication has changed, whether it is for the better or for the worst. And it really comes down to um, being digital literate and knowing how to use the tools that you have uh, the right way, and not looking at it like it's communication has to be different. It doesn't have to be different. You could use the same skills and strategies. You just have to be more of a wordsmith when you write emails or you write text. But it's altogether way different. I just being able to Skype with my goddaughter in New York is amazing, and I get to watch her grow up, and you know her face is right there, and I get to see her, and she gets to see me and talk to me and get excited. So it's kind of awesome. Um, Although, you know, again, with rights comes responsibilities, and there are, even though there are people that communicate very well and professionally over these devices, there are those people like trolls, and there's people on forums that make it their life's work just to complain about everybody and everything. Um, and I'm sure you've seen that.
You're breaking up.
Breaking up. Shoot. How am I
And now
now?
there's no sound.
Am I still breaking up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Okay, good.
now.
Excellent. I know it's hard. Um, mm, the building that where my office is has no ceilings, so it's very loud in there. So I choose to come outside where it's a little bit more quiet, but sometimes the sound goes in and out. So I apologize for that. Just give me a heads up. Okay, digital literacy is one of them. It's really, I mean, that's what this whole class is about. It's the process of teaching and learning about technology, and really knowing the how, the why, and the where of utilizing technology. Um, we've been given a blessing that we have all these tools to work with, and we can do things a lot faster and even more efficient sometimes. But efficiency comes with responsibility, and it really comes with the individual. Does the individual have the knowledge, the skills to be able to um, utilize the tools correctly and how they're meant to be used? Um, so being digital literate is pretty much the survival of being in the digital realm, and learning how you can manipulate all these things to your advantage. And a lot of people don't realize that um, teaching is one of the big aspects of literacy, um, especially when you're mastering a craft. By being able to mentor someone else and show them the way. Going back to the article by Prensky, The Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants, it really enforces what you know, and if you teach it, it gives yourself, you can grow professionally and personally. Um, so being teaching it is enriching also, not only for the person that is reciprocating from your teaching, but for you as an individual as well. Digital etiquette, again, technology is great in the way that people, those people that didn't feel comfortable or don't feel comfortable speaking in front of a lot of people, or they feel uncomfortable talking face to face. Technology has given them a way to be able to communicate to the world without having to be in front of them. But again, there are some people behind the scenes that abuse that power, and they're the ones that will make hateful posts on Facebook. Um, they're the ones that will be very argumentative. They'll write bad reviews on things
Yo,
because
your
they have
signal
nothing
is breaking up so bad.
better. That stinks. Alright, I'm gonna
Miss Pearson.
you don't hear me?
No, your signal is breaking up really bad.
Okay. Um I'm gonna try to move. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Alright, talk to me, because I'm on the move, and
Oh, now I
do you hear me now?
yes.
Okay,
You
you
hear me
do.
now?
Yes, I know I sound like a Verizon commercial.
Oh, man.
Okay. Alright, I think this is a good place, and I need to get in the shade because I will peel like nobody's business. Okay. Cool. I just saw what video are you referring to?
Hello?
Do you hear me? No sound?
This is not a good place.
No, I guess not.
No. No.
Okay. Hear me? Do you hear me? Test. Test. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Right here?
Kind of.
Is it clear or broken up?
It's clear right now.
Okay. I'm not moving. I'm standing right here.
Are you still talking?
I'm still talking. Do you hear me?
Caray.
Okay.
Yo no te puedo oír.
What video are you referring to? I saw that you wrote on a video on Vimeo.
The one with the mollusk.
The mollusk?
The Digital Citizen on Vimeo.
Oh, the one I posted today.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yes.
Isn't it awesome? My favorite one is
I love how she says that looking at the swirl of the mollusk.
Oh, my favorite one is the paperclip guy. Did I lose you?
Yes.
I lost you again?
Yes.
I have all my bars. Oh, okay. I have all my bars. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I found that about I think 3 months ago. I found that on Vimeo. I thought it was an awesome way to introduce digital citizenship because it's 4 separate stories, and they're utilizing technology in the best way, in the best light. So, oh yes, I love that part too. I love that part too. Did you get the sense that she was very like grounded and earthy? Oh no. Did I lose you again? Hello, hello,
I'm not
hello.
hearing anything.
Not hearing anything? Alright, I'm gonna try to move back to the building. This is gonna be weird hearing back. Alright, those of you at home, I apologize for this lag. We're having some internet issues with sound. So if there's any pauses or you just don't hear me, I apologize. Shoot. Do you hear me?
Está diciendo que yo estoy hablando, pero yo no sé.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you hear me now? Alright, I'm almost to a place where I can sit.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Better? All right, everybody. I apologize for that little lag in time. Just having some issues with the internet. Again, you can skip this at home and just fast forward to the good parts. Okay, so where were we? Lady, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we were just talking about etiquette and the fact that it's offered some very positive things where it's getting people that would normally not interact with each other and not communicate because of their fear of speaking in front of people. So in that aspect, it's very positive. However, there are people that make it their life's a work to troll people and complain and post very hateful and negative things, um, which makes you think. You think about what is going through that person's head to make a post like that. Are they even thinking about who they could be affecting or hurting? Um, so there's so much that goes with digital etiquette, especially nowadays. I think every other month or even more frequent, you hear about cyberbullying, and it's very unfortunate.
Every what?
About cyberbullying.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm surprised that it might be on your end because I have full bars and I have full sound. Can you hear me? Are you using headphones? Or do you hear my voice now? And you are using headphones. Yeah, I have full bars.
Okay, I took off my headphones, so
Okay, do you hear?
yes.
Okay, you hear me loud and clear? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, uh, the question you asked is every other month. What I was talking about is that nowadays it's like every other month you hear about a new cyberbullying case, and it's very unfortunate because now it's not it's not in the confines of the four high school walls or middle school walls. It's now on the internet, and you can no longer just go home and escape from it all. It's in your face all the time. And a lot of it has to do with not realizing the consequences of the actions. A lot of I'll say it until something happens. I feel like digital literacy should be taught in elementary school, and especially that they're being born into this age where technology is everything. It's in the classroom. They have their own phones. They have a personal computer, and they really have to they should be understanding that they have this right, but they also have a responsibility. And it's not just like a video game where you can curse and slit someone's throat and hit the reset button. It's reality, and words hurt whether they're spoken or they're typed or they're text. So that that has to go along the lines with etiquette. It's also with etiquette, it's also knowing and being aware of who your audience is and who you're talking to. Um, especially professionally, if you are finding out information or you're talking to your instructor or professor, whatever you want to call them, their first time, there is a way to address people. There's a way that you can ask questions or structure your email in a way that all your statements are clear and concise. I'm reading. My computer keeps saying you are having technical difficulties, and if you don't, that is weird. Mine is not saying anything like that. Lainey, do you hear me? It might be a good idea for you to close out and come back in, which would be fine. Okay. This is to everyone that's going to be watching the recording. Apparently, a bunch of technical difficulties are going on behind the scenes. I'm going to move on, and it's I guess because of the time change, there's only two of us here. So for the recording at home, I'm just going to keep going and demonstrate stuff, and hopefully after I render the recording, everything will be awesome. Okay. Alright, digital law. And I see, lady, you're back. Do you hear me? Okay, digital law deals with the ethics of technology. So again, you want to be digital literate and you want to know your rights and responsibilities of using said electronics and technology and the way that you communicate with each other and spread information. So digital law is those written amendments that are set in place. Like, yes, you have the freedom to post anything you want to post. You have the right to tweet if you want to tweet. Now my audio's out. Okay, it's back on. Okay, so you have the right to tweet whatever you want. You have the right to post to Instagram. You have the right to update your status on Facebook. These are all given rights to us as digital citizens. However, you have a responsibility in order to conduct yourself in a way that you are giving a positive online presence. So you don't want to go ahead and post pictures that are going to
Organizer is experience.
are really gonna lady, you're going in and out. If you can hear me.
Ay, Dios mío. Whoa, what was that?
I didn't hear it. Okay, so for the purposes of recording, I'm gonna just go on, and again, it's really digital law is, you know, not
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you. Not hacking into
This
other
is
people's
horrible.
accounts, not plagiarizing, not creating destructive viruses or worms, sending spam, using anyone's identity or property. And in week 4, we'll go over the basics of copyright. And so that digital law encompasses all that. You'll see plagiarism, you'll see piracy, copyright laws, hacking, creating viruses, digital terrorism, all sorts of things under digital law. Rights and responsibilities. This is basically the amendments of the US Constitution. So there's Bill of Rights, as we discussed before, all those rights that you have as a citizen, and there's basic digital rights, and there's violations that happen after the fact, and then there's precedences because of those violations and because of those acts. So, especially with the World Wide Web, there's a TED Talk on that, and I'll share it with you guys after this session. There's a TED Talk that actually lets us know that the internet is in its prototype stages. So although it was launched almost 20 years ago, it's still considered a prototype in the eyes of the experts. So we haven't even touched the surface yet, and there are so many things that we have to discover and rediscover before we have all these regulations set in place. So something that might be acceptable now
Oh my god,
might
that's so loud.
not be acceptable down the line. It's really all about the individual. It's being literate. It's being aware of how to conduct yourself online. Next one is digital health and wellness. A lot of people overlook this. They're not aware of the amount of time that they're spending on any device. Just a quick side story. In the beginning of the year, I wrote Facebook a Dear John letter. It was not because I spend so much time on that social network. I really don't. Once in a while, I like to check into my family members back home in New York. And I get to stay connected with my girls from back home and stuff like that, which is really cool. But I noticed one day that, and this might not be a lot of time in your eyes, but I noticed one day that an hour went by, and I just went on to check certain things, and a full hour went by, and it just hit me because time is precious, and there's other things that I can be working on or doing, and it just struck me as something that I need to fix. and I felt like I needed to fix it. So I wrote Facebook a Dear John letter. Basically, it's not you, it's me, and I need my space, and pursue other things. Um, but along with that, staring at the computer for a good amount of time can affect your eyesight. It could affect your posture, depending on how you sit. Um, you know, sometimes we have tendencies to hunch over, looking at a computer screen if it's not ergonomically set up to where we can see at eye level. Um, so this comes into play. Really, it could affect you both psychologically and physically. There are many reports about World of Warcraft ending many marriages. Um, there's actually a news something. It was last year. I want to say October or November of last year, and there was a case where a, a child was taken away for neglect because the parents spent so much time on World of Warcraft, and it came out that the child was malnourished, and they were completely neglecting their child. Um, so it can happen. I mean, the internet could be very addicting. Social networks can be very addicting. They're an easy distraction, and you could get lost. Uh, so it's really being aware of those things. The last one, which definitely shouldn't be overlooked, and after we talk about this in on my campus class, it's really the number one element that they think is most important, and that's security, that's self-protection, especially when we're talking about hackers and we're talking about people that build viruses and make it their life's work to be able to get your information and use it. Um, so part of being a digital citizen is protecting yourself by changing your passwords. Even though having all these accounts could be very overwhelming and keep track of all these different usernames and password, it's really beneficial. And you could go back to the old school ways in a way and um, have something in your home that you wrote all this information down. I actually happen to have an index card of all my username and passwords, so um, it might be a good idea sometimes to go old school and hide it in your sock drawer or something like that. Um, but security is the big deal, especially when breaches are going on. Like the biggest one I could think of that happened recently was Target. Um, and I know myself and my family members shop at Target all the time, especially we have a super Target right by us, and it has everything. It's one stop shop. And they were hacked into, and a lot of people got all the information. Um, and yes, file cabinet. I have those too, lady. Believe me, I have a file cabinet. I have a pocket calendar. I'm very old school when it comes to that. Although I have all the digital stuff and I have a digital calendar, I still need the security of writing it down. If that makes any sense, I have to write it down. Okay, so since it's only the two of us, I'm gonna skip the discussion and go on to the assignments. Um, okay, so let me get to. Okay, that's location. Digital set. Okay, the cold case. All right, cold case, or AKA 3.4, is kind of it's a pretty cool assignment, I think. And it gets you to think more along the lines of the way things have changed drastically. They've changed so much. And the fact that communication and access to information, um, I mean, looking up people, identifying people, finding them on Facebook, and you really could find all sorts of information. So, in the cold case, what we want you to do is look at the scenario that we give you, and for this case, for this week, it's going back to the 1920s, and we're talking about the Prohibition era. It's actually one of my favorite eras, especially being, from New York, born and raised, and just all the history there with the original gangsters. I'm talking Lucky Luciano and Al Capone, even though he's from Chicago, he crossed over to New York. And Bugsy. Then you got the other side of the law, the Elliot Ness. There's so much enriching information, so much history. So for the purpose of this week's discussion called Cold Case, we're asking you to revisit that time in history where it was prohibition, alcohol was illegal, uh, the purchasing or selling of alcohol, even the drinking of alcohol, it was completely prohibited. It was called the dry state, or dry, dry state. So we want you to look at that history and think about nowadays. Now that we have all this technology and we have all these different ways of communication, we have all these devices for location, and look into it and come up, comment about that. How different would the 1920s be if
Besides,
there
you can't fire us.
was
Megan, mute yourself or the TV.
okay? How different would it be if we had this technology? They had the technology back in 1920s. How would that change? How would history have changed? Would they have been able to get away with the things that they did? Would bootleggers even exist? So these are some things to think about. Now, of course, and this is probably a lot how a lot of the instructors feel, but use your creativity. This could be a really enriching, awesome assignment if you put the time into it. And Lainey, yes, there's a TV show. It's called Boardwalk Empire. It's amazing. If you ever get a chance, if you have Netflix, you can totally rent the back seasons. It's so worth it. It's just, I'm in awe of that era anyway. So it's a really great show. So just to give you an example, and this is only the second month that this assignment has come around. So last month was the first launch, and I had two of my students that got paired up in the misinformation debate assignment and really made a connection. And they decided to email me, and they're like, Miss P, you know how you did the spoken word for your digital identity? We really want to do something using writing. We really want to try this out. You kind of like inspiring us by challenging us. So what they asked me to do is write episodes, each writing an episode of taking the 1920s and putting it in nowadays. It was amazing, and they actually just wrote a third episode that they emailed me a week ago to look at. So it turned into this creative project that they want to elaborate on and modify and make an ongoing thing. So it's pretty cool. And that's with any of these assignments. It's yes, you have certain benchmarks that you have to abide by and check off, but it's really your creativity. And if you could use your craft, then it makes it so much better, and it makes you more connected to the assignment than just doing it. I'm sorry that you guys still hear that, and again, I'm just gonna go ahead and go on for the purpose of the recording, and I understand that my audio keeps on going in and out. I hear static too. Okay. Alright, so that's the cold case. It's basically set up like a discussion board, like anything else. We encourage you to read the assets and follow the guidelines. I'll be in there, of course, commenting on everything, and have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Okay, I don't want to go into digital citizenship yet. So that's the cold case. The next thing is 3.5, you'll see, is location, location, location. And that has to do with geotagging. Geotagging is the term where that it pretty much was set up for photographers, and it was to keep track of where and when they took their photographs. It was a way to organize themselves, and if they really found a place and a time and day where the result was this beautiful shot, they can go back and read the information. And it's almost the same as metadata. Metadata is simply data of data. That's what it is. Okay, I'm back on. Alright, I'm back on. I don't know what was going on, but my microphone was being muted automatically for some reason, and I could not get out of it. So I apologize about that. This is going to be fun watching back. Okay, let's see where I have that. Cold case instructions. No. Oh. Oh my god. Do I not? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Alright. When you guys look over 3.5, that's location, location, location. It's asking you to use this website, which is called verixif.com. And it's pretty much free software or free web-based tool in order to distract metadata out of a photograph. So you guys will see when you go into 3.5, there is a TED Talk that says how to fool GPS, and it goes over different aspects. It's kind of interesting when you see it. I don't want to give anything away, but this software is free. Of course, there are other softwares out there that you can pay and get even more information off a photograph. So if you're a photographer, it's kind of cool because, as I was saying before, you can keep track of where you take photographs, and if there was a good place, you would have record of where that is. But it's another thing that if people really want to find you. And I have one photograph that I'm going to share that I can demonstrate this software for you, that I was very surprised after I went through the process. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't aware of it at the time. I just thought I was taking pictures of my godson at the beach very innocently, that I'll have pictures of him. I had no idea that there was information attached to his photo. So I have this photo right here, and all you have to do, there's a file that you'll download once you go into the assignment, and it has pictures from around campus. And that's what you're going to use. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to take the picture, put it into the browse, and you see it appears in the bar, and then you say view EXIF. Okay, I'll take a little time to pop up, and there he is. There's my Joey. That's my godson in all his glory. Yeah, I know, he's a cutie. And no, those are not cheese doodles. Aunt Trishy gives her godson healthy carrots. Those are baby carrots that he's been a walrus with. So, kind of innocent. You're like, okay, this is a picture. But then you see this GPS latitude and longitude. And then you go to the map that I went too far out. Okay, and you start to zoom in. I zoomed in way too much. Let's find ourselves again. Out to the beach. Come on, out to the beach. Man, really? My computer is being very highly sensitive today. Okay, there we are in Florida. Wow. Okay, I'm trying to demonstrate you. It's really not this hard. Technology just does not like me today. Okay. Okay, so we have the satellite view now. And we could zoom in. Now, zoom in even more. And as you can see, that is starting to show you a little bit more detail of where we are. So, if someone wanted to find my cute nephew and where we were at, they would be able to find where we at. And of course, this is the free software. There's many more software out there that for a minimal fee, you can look even further into a picture and grab the GPS locations. Um, so of course, there are many dangers that can come with it. Yes, Megan, it does sound a little scary. It takes stalking to a whole new level. So it's kind of scary. But a part of being digital literate is knowing that this stuff is out there and being aware of it and protect yourself. So, my ignorance didn't know that there was actually something on my phone called locations that I can go and shut them off. And you do have that ability to be able to go into your settings on your phone and shut that off. You could disable it, yes. Most now, because they've gotten more savvy about things happening, most of the newer phones, like I'll just use the example, like the iPhone 5, it's automatically off, and you would have to turn it on in order to utilize that service if you wanted to. So no longer is the GPS information automatically put on a picture, so that can help you. The danger was back in the day when people were just uploading photos crazy to Facebook before they got savvy or they caught on to geotagging information being on photos. It was in Facebook as well. So, if you kind of lied to that annoying friend that you didn't want to see for the day, and then you uploaded a picture of where you were, they could kind of find out where you were at a specific time, and that you lied to them and you ditched them. So it could be a double-edged sword. Just be aware that it's out there and you could do something about it. So I was a little freaked out, but now that I know, I could protect myself and I could protect my little nephew and know. So that's my Joey. Okay. So getting to just to show you another thing that when you go into 3.5 and you look at the full scale library and use VergZip to look at where those pictures were taken, you can couple it with the maps. So if you on the Connect page and you go to maps, it'll give you the map of the campus. once it decides to come up. Okay, I promise that I'll give you the map of the campus. And I guess we'll wait for that to come up, and what you can do to help you with pinpointing where on campus the picture was taken. It's going to show you a map of the Fullsail campus with little flags of where things are, and you can couple that information with the information shown on the Google Maps, and you could place the maps side by side for each other to get a pinpoint location. Don't know why this isn't working right now, but trust me, if you go into organizations and you go down to maps, it'll give you a map of the campus, of all of the buildings and where things are. So you'll just have to trust me for now. I hope you do, because this session has been very, very weird, to say the least. Okay. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is 3.6, and that's the digital citizenship. That is the big assignment for week 3. It's really all-encompassing of what you've learned so far. It's what you've been aware of. It's using all your digital literacy skills. The topic of this month is the Boston Marathon in 2013. The gist of this whole assignment, I know it's very new, it's very fresh, but it's kind of a good thing because you could find a lot of information on it, especially if you were to compare it to say 9/11. If you were to compare that historical event to the Boston Marathon, it's completely different. 9/11 was pre-Instagram, pre-Twitter, pre-Facebook, so all these things were not even accessible. The major thing that went down on 9/11 was not be able to reach your loved ones because the cell phone connection was so horrible. And it was just, it gave busy signals for an hour, and people didn't know where their loved ones were. They didn't know what to do. And lady, yes, I actually, I don't want to go into the whole story, but I was actually only 15 minutes away. It was my first year of my undergrad at Molloy, and I had a mythology class early in the morning, and the English department head came in and whispered in my professor's ear that it was some kind of accident, which was ridiculous because it was a gorgeous day. And now I'm seeing that you were there. That I can't believe that. I can't believe that. So, yeah, I definitely feel you, and it's still hard to talk about. It's still crazy to hear to feel the ground rumble under your feet. It's crazy. It's crazy. So and I digress. Maybe one day that we can totally talk to each other and share some things. I know it helps to talk about sometimes. So yeah, it was very freaky, scary. I have no idea how I got home that day. I owe it to Elvis Duran. Yeah, God and Elvis Duran on Z100. He just broadcasted from the top of the Empire State Building, and got me home. I don't know. It's kind of a blur. But what you have to know about this assignment is really you're looking at digital tools. Yeah, that was young. And I was a wee bit older. I'm sure you could do the math my first year of college. But there's 3 major factors that you have to look at with this assignment. One is the digital tools that were used within this whole historical event. So you want to look at Twitter, you want to look at Facebook, you want to look at Instagram, you want to look at all the different things. Okay. And as you're looking, yes, I know the sound is still going out. We're almost done. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating here. But once you look at the tools, then you want to look at how they affected the historical event. Did they how did the people utilize these tools? The positive and negative effects. So you want to look at digital tools and how they were used. You want to look at the idea of digital citizenship and what that means, and how people conducted themselves before, during, and after this event. You want to focus on the positive and negative effects. So you want to look at the outreach, the relief program, the connection, the communication, the way that news spread, how people got help and aid. Then you also want to look at aspects of misinformation and people taking advantage of the tragedy. Even the security. So you want to look at both positive and negative effects of this historical event. So just to recap this all encompassing, is you are going to research this event. You're going to look at the digital tools. You're going to look at digital citizenship, and the way that my suggestion to you is to take the 9 elements and maybe focus on 2 or 3 of the elements and how that affected the events of the Boston Marathon. So maybe you want to take communication, for example, and focus on the positive and negatives of communication, and what were the tools that were used to communicate, to get the news out, to get word out, to get relief, and all that stuff. The pictures that were taken, and the pictures that were real, and the ones that were manipulated. So all these things could be a factor. As always, I am here to help you, and you can contact me, either message me or call the office. I don't believe that the recording is going to be that messed up, because I've had sound problems before, and the video plays back the audio perfect. So if there is any trouble with that, I may have to make another session. Later in the week. But if I have to, that's fine. I want to help you guys. Well, thank you, lady. Thank you. but I want to help you guys as much as I can. So if I listen to the session back and it's horrible, I'll definitely, you could look out for another invite for me, and we could redo it. Okay, so besides everything, do you guys have any questions before we leave for this afternoon? Okay, Lily, for the lab session, there is no attendance. For the lab sessions, it's basically like if people watch my recordings, it's tracked. I have it set up that it's tracked, that people watch it. And of course, I know that you guys are here, but lab sessions don't have any attendance. And Megan, to answer your question, no, tomorrow's session is going to be at 2. I did send out, when I had to change this, and I changed it early last week, everyone that registered already got a notice from me. I do apologize. It's a last minute meeting that I have to go to at 3 o'clock, so I apologize for the change. But tomorrow is going to be 2 o'clock. Lady, the global session, you'll find the attendance link within the materials. There's a global session at 3 different times tomorrow, so it depends on which one you sign up for. I know the one that I'm conducting is at 7, and the attendance link is in the materials page. You didn't have one for the first one? Okay, that doesn't really if you're going to a different time than the ones that I conduct, then that's fine. They have, there should be a material page with them. So it all depends. We conduct them at all different times to accommodate our students that are in different time zones. So you don't necessarily have to go to mine. It's okay. Although I'm a little jealous that you're being buddy-buddy with the other instructors. But I'll get over it. No, it's cool. It's cool that you're experienced. I work with really great people, so it's cool that you're, yes, I can unmute you. Hold on, let me go up there. Please. Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay, I only have options for today for class. I don't have any other classes for other days, and none of them have you in them. And it's only for communication.
Okay, are you talking global or lab?
The only one I can click on. I don't have, both of mine are not, I don't have access to the blue X one. The top one I have access, but the other one I don't.
Okay. Do me a favor, because this has been occurring not only in my sections, but other people's sections. I've also, like, the first week I wrote an announcement, and in the announcement has the link to my catalog, and that has all the lab sessions for the entire month. So if you can't click on them with the icon, which I don't know why this is still occurring. I did it about 10 times, and I made sure that the links all work. So I'm not exactly sure why that's happening, but if you go into announcements, I have an announcement that I did in week 1, and it has the link right in there.
Okay.
Does that help? I hope.
I hope.
It's let's see if I can go there. That's not what I want. Okay, so if we go into announcements, I'll show you what it looks like. And of course, I'm getting the Wheel of Death. I don't know. I think I had to take my computer to a church and get it blessed or something. It's just not working for me. Let's try it this way. Can you get into your announcements on your side? Where's the battery? Oh. Okay, it's not letting me in, but if you go into, that's not what I wanted. But if you go into your announcements and scroll down, you'll see the one that I talk about my lab sessions, and I give a direct link to my catalog. But you have you signed up to this one.
I did this the first week. I signed up for everything.
Okay, then you have it. Then you'll have all my sessions. I gave them all at once the first week. Let's see.
Okay, but I also have Mark Chapin's classes on my global page.
Okay, what happened the first week is, and I wrote about this, but what happened the first week is that all his sessions were copied forward into everyone's classes, and we had no way of editing that. But then everything changed. That's why I made this announcement, and if you could see it, it's right here. So I put it as an announcement for the students to sign up for my classes. Now, after that week went by, I was able to put my information in there. But if those links are not working, and I'm sure that Megan is saying the same thing, just go to this link and it'll have all my sessions.
Is it okay if I have Daryl Moore sessions on my week 3?
It's fine. I mean, you don't have to go to all those sessions. You're probably making more work for yourself, because the global sessions are pretty much the same. The lab sessions might vary because, the instructors give them individually, but you don't have to attend all those sessions. Yeah, if there's no new content, you're fine. Megan, to answer your question. Does that make sense, lady? Okay. Okay, and I apologize again for the confusion. Like I said in the beginning, um, the platform is very new to us as well. It's the first month that we're launching everything, so things may not work out like we think they are, and unfortunately, we find out after it's done. It's the trial and error. So I do apologize. Yeah, Megan, we were having so much trouble with the sound. Hopefully, the recording, everything is cool. If not, like I said, I will put together another session. Unfortunately, I will not I have time to do it probably until Thursday. But I am hosting I'm hosting personal branding tomorrow, so if there's any questions about assignments, I could fill them there as well. Maybe what assignment is due Wednesday? The initial post? Okay, then if this recording doesn't work, then I'll address it tomorrow in the personal branding. And please ask that question. Okay. Alright, girls, I apologize again for the frustrating session. It was frustrating for me. I like things to go smoothly and well, of course. But hopefully the recording will work and I'll work something out. Tomorrow, I have 2 sessions already. I have the personal branding, and then I have the global session at night. But I'm so glad. I love when that happens. That happened last month with those 2 students that did those episodes for the cold case. It's really important. You know, it's nice to have someone to relate to and work with. It's awesome, and it really has been a pleasure to have you guys thus far. You're definitely 2 of the students that stand out. So I appreciate you. But if you don't have any other questions, like I said, I have a meeting coming up at 3 o'clock, and I can use to get some juice in my computer and get all set up. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you. I wish it was better session. Thank you for coming, Megan. And let's cross our fingers that the recording works and everything's cool. So, if everything is cool, you'll see the link on the community discussion board later on this evening. Okay? If not, look out for an invitation to a new session. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your day, ladies. Cool.